That multi-million-dollar real estate portfolio you're so proud of, it could be worthless in the face of a single lawsuit. In fact, the way you're probably holding your properties right now might as well be an open invitation for creditors and hungry opportunistic lawyers. You think you've built a fortress of wealth, but in reality, you've built a house of cards, and a single gust of wind could bring it all crashing down. Like you, I've heard the horror stories of successful investors, people who did everything right in their business, lose it all because of one mistake in their legal structuring. In this video, I'm going to show you the simple yet powerful legal structure the wealthy use to shield their fortunes, making their real estate legally untouchable. This isn't about doing anything shady. It's about using the law to build a real fortress, one that actually protects what you've worked so hard for. So pay attention, because I'm about to show you exactly how experienced real estate investors preserve and protect their wealth. But before we get started, make sure to subscribe and hit that like button. So let's be brutally honest. The more successful you become, the bigger the bullseye on your back gets. Every property you own is a potential doorway to a lawsuit that can threaten not just one asset, but everything else that you own. Your personal home, your savings, your kids' college funds. We're living in an incredibly litigious society where a simple slip and fall, a disgruntled tenant, or even a car accident totally unrelated to your properties can trigger a legal nightmare that wipes you out. You might think, I'm safe, I've got insurance. But what happens when a lawsuit exceeds your policy's limits? Or when the insurance company finds a loophole to deny your claim? Think that won't happen? Think again. Insurance is your first line of defense, but it is not a complete solution. It's a shield, not an impenetrable vault. You might also think you're protected with a simple LLC for your properties, but are you sure? Is it structured correctly? Most investors aren't, and that's the crack in the foundation that I'm talking about. So what does this house of cards look like? For most investors, it's one of two things. First, and worst of all, they hold a property in their own personal name. This is like leaving the keys to your financial kingdom on the front doorstep. A lawsuit against you for any reason means the plaintiff's attorney can immediately see and seize your properties. The second, slightly better but still dangerous method is holding all of your properties in a single LLC. You feel secure because you created a legal entity, separating ownership of the assets from your name. But you've just put all your eggs in one basket. Imagine you own 5 rental properties inside My Real Estate LLC. A tenant in property A slips and has a serious injury. They sue and the judgment is for $2 million. But your insurance only covers $1 million. Where do you think they're coming for that other $1 million? They won't just take property A. They can force the liquidation of properties B, C, D, and E to satisfy the rest of that judgment. That one lawsuit on one property just destroyed your entire real estate portfolio. This is what lawyers call reverse veil piercing, when they attack your company to get at its assets. It gets even worse when they pierce the corporate veil entirely, allowing them to go after your personal assets too. This happens all the time when investors don't treat the LLC like a separate business. They commingle funds by paying for personal items with the business debit card, or they fail to keep separate, clean financial records. Do that, and the liability shield you thought you had just evaporates. So how do you fix this? You have to change your entire mindset. The goal of true asset protection isn't just to defend against the lawsuit, but to make yourself so unattractive to a potential plaintiff that a lawsuit never even starts. This is the own nothing, control everything philosophy. Predatory attorneys are looking for low-hanging fruit. They run asset searches to see what they can easily find and attach. If they search your name and find a portfolio of 10 properties, they know a payday is waiting. But what if they search your name and find nothing? What if your properties are held in a way that makes your ownership invisible to a public search? That lawyer, who likely took the case on contingency, is far less motivated to spend years in expensive litigation trying to unravel a complex legal web for a payout that's no longer guaranteed. You make them move on to an easier target. You do this not by giving up your properties, but by structuring your ownership to separate legal title from your control. You still get all the cash flow, all the depreciation, and you still make all the decisions. But on paper, where it counts in a lawsuit, you own nothing directly. This brings us to the solution: a layered system of legal firewalls. It consists of two key components: a specialized holding company and individual subsidiary LLCs. The heart of this strategy is a special type of parent company, specifically an anonymous holding LLC, set up in a state with powerful asset protection laws. Wyoming is famous for this. Why Wyoming? Because it offers some of the strongest privacy and asset protection in the country. It allows for anonymous LLCs, meaning your name as the owner does not appear on public state records. Other states like Delaware and Nevada also offer robust protections, but Wyoming is preferred for its strong statutes and lower costs. More importantly, Wyoming has charging order protection as the exclusive remedy for creditors. In simple terms, that means if you're personally sued, a creditor cannot force the sale of your LLC's assets or take over your ownership. The most they can get is a court order entitling them to distributions, if and when you decide to take them. So you just don't make any distributions. The creditor gets nothing and is eventually forced to the negotiating table for pennies on the dollar. This Wyoming LLC is your personal private vault. Its only job is to own your other entities. Next, for every property you own, you form a separate LLC in the state where the property is located. This is called compartmentalization. For ultimate protection across state lines, separate LLCs are still the gold standard. Think of your portfolio like a modern warship with multiple independent watertight compartments. If the LLC for property A gets hit with a massive lawsuit, the damage is contained entirely within that one compartment. The lawsuit can't spill over and sink your other properties because they are legally separate entities. The plaintiff can only go after the asset inside that one specific LLC, which is just that one property. The rest of your real estate empire stays safe. Now we connect the pieces. Who owns these individual property LLCs? Not you. Your Wyoming Holding Company does. So when somebody looks up the public record for your Texas property, they won't see your name. They'll see the owner is Texas Property 1 LLC. And who owns that LLC? Wyoming Holdings LLC. And who owns that? The public record is silent. You've just created two layers of legal protection. First, the compartmentalization of the single property LLC isolates liability. Second, the anonymous Wyoming Holding Company shields your identity and adds an incredible powerful layer of charging order protection. This is how you own nothing but control everything. I know we're covering some advanced concepts here, and if you're finding this information valuable for protecting your financial future, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. My mission with this channel is to give you the real tools the wealthy use to grow and protect their wealth, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Now, setting this up is one thing, maintaining it is another. I've seen investors build this fortress and then leave the front door wide open through simple, avoidable mistakes. The first is failing to respect the corporate veil. You must treat each LLC as a separate business. That means its own bank account, clean financial records, and no commingling of funds. Don't pay for your vacation from a property's operating account. If you treat your LLC network like a personal piggy bank, a court will do the same and declare the entire structure a sham. The second pitfall is a new and critical one: federal regulatory reporting. As of 2024, the Corporate Transparency Act, or CTA, requires most LLCs to report information about their beneficial owners, the actual people who own or control the company, to a federal database at FinCEN. So while your Wyoming LLC gives you public anonymity from snooping lawyers, it doesn't give you anonymity from the federal government. Failing to file or update this information can lead to severe penalties, so this is a crucial compliance step. Having said that, the U.S. Treasury issued an updated ruling for reporting under the CTA. And as of March 2nd, 2025, the Treasury Department and its bureau, FinCEN, have suspended enforcement of the CTA's beneficial ownership reporting requirements for all U.S. citizens and domestic reporting companies. So what does that mean in plain English? It means that as of now, no penalties or fines will be imposed for failing to file required reports under the previous CTA rules. But just remember, the regulatory environment continues to change, so remain vigilant for future Treasury or congressional updates on the CTA. All right, a third mistake is with insurance. When you move a property into an LLC, you must update your policy to list the LLC as the named insured. If your policy is still in your own personal name, the insurance company has a perfect legal right to deny your claim after an accident. You will have paid premiums for years for a worthless policy. Finally, the biggest mistake is waiting until it's too late. Asset protection is like fire insurance. You have to have it before the fire starts. If you get served with a lawsuit and then start frantically moving assets, a court will likely unwind everything as a fraudulent transfer. The time to build your fortress is now when the seas are calm. So let's wrap this all up. The feeling of vulnerability that comes with a growing real estate portfolio is real because the risks are real. Holding property in your name or a single poorly structured LLC is an invitation for financial disaster. The solution is to adopt the mindset of the wealthy. Own nothing, control everything. You accomplish this with a strategic two-layered approach. Individual LLCs to compartmentalize each property, and an anonymous holding company to own those LLCs, providing both public privacy and powerful charging order protection. Don't wait for a crack to appear in your financial foundation. You've worked too hard to see it all crumble from one unlucky event. Build your fortress the right way starting today. The peace of mind that comes from knowing that you're truly protected is the greatest return on investment you'll ever get. Take action today. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit that little notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. Your support really helps the channel reach more people who can benefit from this content. I'd also love to hear your thoughts or any questions you might have, so drop them in the comments below. And if there's a real estate related topic you'd like me to dive into next, let me know there too. I'm here to keep delivering practical insights that help you build and protect your wealth. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.